today. I'm super excited to have Tiffany on here. I am very honored that she's come on to talk. And Tiffany Perkins, she's running her business. She is a great mom and she's overall just a rock star. And we'll talk a little bit more about what she's doing. And yeah, I was so excited to have her on here because I did one of your like classes and it was really inspiring. So I'm so glad that you're about to talk a little bit about, the mindset and stuff like that as well in business.
Well, thank
Um,
you so much for having me. I'm super excited, and I feel flattered that anybody would want to hear me speak. So,
oh my gosh, you're the
yeah.
most like positive person and bubbly and like I'm so excited that we're here chatting.
Oh, good. Well, my goal is to help people with their thoughts because thoughts are powerful. But we'll, of course, talk about that.
Yeah, and I know, you launched Tiff Truths and we've talked about this briefly and I love how you're just honest. You talk about things not a lot of people talk about, right? But
Mhm.
it's so true. It makes me like whenever you say things like even on your stories or whatnot, it makes me think like, oh my gosh, so right.
Oh my God, I'm so normal. Like, people don't talk about the stuff that makes us normal. They think it's weird. And I think that that's so insane to me, like being moms, right? Nobody tells you like the truth about being pregnant. They don't tell you about like the most terrifying things you experience when you're pregnant in your body. And I had no fear about talking about those things. And I hope that it helped like women after me. I'm
Yeah.
just not, I have no fear. Like, why? You're experiencing it. I'm experiencing it. Like, let's normalize being weird.
I love it because I feel like even before I was pregnant, all I hear was, "Oh, I love pregnancy. It was such a smooth
Yeah.
process." And honestly, I've had 3 and it was not. It was, the most uncomfortable thing ever I've ever had to like experience, but no one talks about like that. I feel like once you've had, the babies and stuff like that, people just forget, but I love that, you're able I'm able to relate to the things that you say is because yeah, no, it's not an easy
No.
journey.
Not for everybody, right? Some women have incredible pregnancies. You had Katiana
Yes.
on, right? Like her pregnancy was fantastic. I was completely opposite. I felt pain from 9 weeks until I gave birth to my son. And because I have a really small torso, like there wasn't a lot of places for him to go. I got stuck in a bathtub too. Like people should talk about that. There's a certain point in your pregnancy, don't get in there alone.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny because like when I was pregnant, I couldn't like sit in like boots because like my stomach wouldn't fit. Like,
Yeah, too
you
big.
know, and the constant questions of are you having twins? And I'm like, "No.
Yeah,
I'm
I
having
know.
one kid."
It's because we have small torsos. I look like Shamu. I was like, this is not attractive. Like the big pregnancy photo I have, I'm wearing like a white tank top and like, could somebody have helped me? White tank top and stretchy pants because God knows that's all you're getting into is something flowy or stretchy. But anyway,
Yes. And just the body change and like, I wish I could just motivate people that felt so insecure during their pregnancy to just take the photos because all 3 of my
sad, right?
pregnancy, I have no photos. It doesn't even look like I had,
Yeah,
I
I
carried
have
my
those too. I
kids.
have people that forced me to take pictures, and I'm so grateful to them. Like they'd be like, "Oh, let me get a bump picture," and I'm like, "." But looking back, I'm really happy that they did. They made me because those are the only pictures I really have too. Because I wasn't comfortable. So,
Yeah. Same here. All 3, I have no like actual nice pregnancy photos. So now it's like, if you're thinking about it, just do it, cuz
yeah,
it's not going to happen like over and over again unless you have like 20 kids, but you know what I mean? Just
yeah, I
capture the
totally
moment.
agree. Life's too short to have the regrets or to worry about what you're looking like all of the time, right? Like the memories are the most important part, and we sometimes we lose sight of that.
I agree. And okay, so I know we'll dig deep here about the mindset. Like, how did you get that type of mentality of just like no fear? Let's talk about things. What's on your mind. Like, how did you get there? Were you always like that?
Um, no, I was a really, really shy kid when I was growing up. I was like very introverted but kind, and I would surprise my mom like doing stuff. Like one time I did like a break dancing full routine at a fair to like I think I wanted to win a prize, and she didn't even know I could break dance because I would just do stuff on my own. Um, I've had a really I think people look at me and they look at my positivity and they think maybe because I've had such a good life that I'm positive because I've had just such great experiences, right? But the truth is I hate to say I had a difficult upbringing. Like that's no, I am so grateful for how I grew up. It was not always easy. My mom was a single mom. My dad wasn't really in my life. Um, I watched my stepdad pass away literally in front of me a week before I graduated high school. And then my grandfather passed. It was just like back to back. And then I ended up getting into like really hard drugs. And I think it was really just to mask everything else that I was dealing with. And I'm only telling you all of that because I think that that's such a foundation because so much crazy stuff has happened in my life that, like, there's really not a lot that can scare me. When I was younger, my stepdad's wife tried to kill me and my mom. So they actually came out looking for us with shotguns where we were camping. Luckily, she wasn't able to find us.
Gosh.
She broke into my house. I had to hide my cousin. So I've had like extreme things that most people probably haven't experienced in their life. I had in high school, my boyfriend broke into my home and vandalized it, and there was a stabbing in my house, and they bled all over my home. And so my house was actually a biohazard
Oh
for
my
about
God.
6 months when I was in high school. I couldn't live there. Um, so through all of this, there's really not a whole lot to be afraid of. Like, really, what are you going to do? What are you going
Right.
to do? I mean, I've had people try to kill me, and that didn't work. So, I mean, at this point, saying what's on my mind, if it helps somebody else, like, I have no fear of that. Why not? I might
I
offend
love that.
somebody, but who
No, it's
cares?
very inspiring. And it's, it takes a lot to even open up with life experiences, right? Everybody has a story. And I
Yeah.
love that you are not scared to tell your story. So I love that.
Oh, thanks. Well, I hope it inspires people because I think that for a long time I didn't share my story. I would just share like inspect. This is probably like really the first time I've actually shared my story like with somebody to this platform, right? Um, because I never really thought that it was important. I never thought that my story would inspire somebody until you guys started telling me like that it's helping, right? And then I think, God, if I can inspire somebody to change their life, if I can inspire somebody just to stop using drugs, like I was a huge meth addict. I was like, there was times that they were like making meth in my home. Like that's how extreme I was into it, right? And one day I woke up and I decided I didn't want to live that life anymore, and it was a decision, right? And so I've made really major decisions in my life that have been
Hmm.
able to put me on the correct path. And I think that if I can do it, I'm just a person, like anybody can do it. Sometimes we just need help and we need to look at people. And sorry, I'm just talking a lot, but I hate the analogy of not comparing yourself to other people because I think that there's a really positive aspect of comparing yourself to others. It's all in how you look at it. When I compare myself to others, I compare it for inspiration. You know, I look at people that speak their mind and I'm like, oh God, that's inspiring to me, right? I look at
Yes.
them and I want to be that. I'm okay with comparing myself. Oh, I can get better in these areas, right? So I hope that people look at me and they're like, oh, she made that decision. I could do it too because you can. Everybody can.
And I love that perspective because you're comparing in a positive way of like you're
Yeah.
reflecting into yourself on what you want to become. Because some people when
Yeah.
when they compare to bring themselves down. They're like, "Oh, I'm not as good
Right.
as that person," or I don't think I can achieve that or whatnot." But for you, it's like, "Oh my gosh, like me compared to that person, I want to be like that. What are the steps I need to take to be that?" kind of thing
Yeah.
is what I'm seeing with what you're saying. So that's
And if I
awesome.
like the comparable traits, right? Like even our shortcomings. I like to look at shortcomings too, right? We're not all great at
No.
everything. We're not. And
Yep.
there's places that I want to be in this lifetime. And I can look at people that are already there and know that they have some shortcomings too, and they've
Oh,
made it. So
everyone.
why can't we? You know? So those are just, that's how I compare. It's not bad. It's all in your perspective. Everything is perspective.
I love that. I love that. And I know it took a lot of like growth and like
Oh,
your
yeah.
life experiences to even get there with that type of mindset. Um, awesome. So let's talk about your beginnings, like in business. What got you started in your business?
Well, when I was 17 years old, my grandma taught me how to subdivide land because that's what she did. She acquired land, she subdivided it, and then what she would do is she would carry the note. So she would have to amortize a loan, she would have to write the note, write her own deeds, and so forth. And so she taught me how to do that when I was like 17. I never really thought that I would get into real estate, but here we are. So that's kind of how it started. I've gone through like different career paths, but always seem to end up back in real estate.
That's awesome. So you've been in the industry a long time, a very long time since you were 17. You know, it's been introduced to you. What are some major challenges that you would say you've faced early on?
Mindset. It's always mindset, right? Like, did I truly believe that I would be successful or did I truly think I could do it? Probably not at first. Growing up, my mom always wanted me to work like a 9 to 5. You know, you hear about we want the stability. You want stability. You want stability. If you have stability, that's getting a paycheck. Um, so I had a lot of doubt that I
Hmm.
could do it. And honestly, I looked around at some of the people in our industry and I was like, wait a minute. If they could do it, I can do it. Right. So
Yes.
it was overcoming that. It was finding inside of myself that I could do it and it was going to be okay.
Awesome. And how long did it take you to kind of maneuver that mindset? Because you said it was hard in the beginning. Um, did it happen over time? Like, were there things that you had to kind of try, do, like books, or people that you had to change, like, around you? I don't know. Like, you know, what's kind of the
Yeah.
key there in that switch?
Um, I think this is funny because people want to hear that you can change your mindset and you like set it and forget it, right? Like positive people are always positive. And I think you also know that that is not true, right?
Yep.
Like we all have our off days and it's
Yes.
just like working out, it's a muscle. So every day I work on my mindset. Every single day is the number one important thing that I can not only give to myself, but I can give to the people around me. Right. And so, I do positive self talk. I do affirmations. I think affirmations are so important. And we don't use them enough. So I have them written on my bathroom mirrors. I have affirmations in my car on a little note. So whenever I get in my car, I'm seeing how great I am. I tell myself,
I love that.
um, yeah, I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. It's also important for my kids to see that too. So I have been working on my mindset forever. I've been weird since I was a kid and always looked at how I could improve myself. I think that's really why we're put here. So to me, it's going to be a never ending path. But every day I meditate. Every day I cold plunge. I did take a week off, but so I do things constantly to make sure that my mindset is correct. And if I do have a bad day, I have special rules around it. So, like, I never allow myself to be upset for more than 3 consecutive days, which is forever. I don't even go a whole day being upset ever, but 3 day maximum. And I always try to figure out like what the real reason is, right? Like when we're genuinely upset, is it something we're really upset about? Like, are in 5 years from now, am I going to care or am I PMSing? Like,
Right.
so I try to put it into perspective. Am I just being hormonal? And there's times I am, and I know that, and I'll be aware of it, right? And I can change that. So
I
Every day
love
I work on it, and I've been working on it for a very long time.
So whoever's watching, take notes because it's so true. Affirmations, manifestations are all real, and positivity is not just, it's something to be worked on. Definitely. Even me, like, you have emotions are up and down. It's never perfect. It has to be worked on. You have to put yourself there in that type of mentality. So, yay! I love the tips and tricks that you said. I actually still have to put those notes right in front of me, at least in my mirror. I have it like in my work area, but I love that what you said is to have it right when you wake up. Have it right in front of you. And
Put
actually,
it
one of
on your
the
phone. Put it on
on
your
my
phone
phone. Oh
screen.
yeah,
So whenever you're unlocking your phone, you're looking at your affirmations.
that's a good one too. Right now it says move with purpose, but I love
Well,
that you
see, that's
say
a good one though too. That's a good reminder. But
yeah,
yeah,
move with purpose, but definitely having the affirmations there too. That way, whenever you're just on your phone, which you always are,
always
you
are. Yeah.
can put that in your head like, hey, you're beautiful, you're great, you're worthy, deserving, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, the affirmations I've been doing lately because trying to build connections with other people is often you're a social butterfly.
You are though.
I'm naturally an introvert and like I'm naturally shy. So it's like it takes a lot for me to like come out.
Yeah.
It may seem like that, but yeah,
You could say
lately,
too that people are naturally drawn to you. Like people are just naturally drawn to me. People love my energy. You know what I
oh
mean? Like
yeah,
stuff like
because
that.
like the moment I come to the room and I see you, you're always like you light up. And I'm like, yes, that's Tiffany. You know what I mean? So if I see you like sitting at Cece's chair, I'm like, oh yay.
Yay!
Favorite time.
I feel the same way about you though. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have so much fun now. And I'm honestly the same way. I'm kind of like in hermit mode. Like when I'm at home or whatever, I don't go out very often. Like I don't
Yes.
venture. But I also think it's because our energy is precious too. So I want to make sure that my energy has like the best possible people in it.
I love that. Yeah, you just attract like the same type of people. So I
Yeah.
love it. And I know, talking to some people and stuff like that, a lot of people well, they struggle with motivation. What are some of your tips as far as like motivation goes?
Um, well, first, stop thinking you're always going to be motivated because that's insane. You aren't. You're not always going to be motivated and like accept that and be okay with it. Like, I think we
Hmm.
fight so hard, like, I have to be motivated. I have to. You really don't, right? Like, at the end of the day, what you need to do is make your ass do something that you don't want to do, right? That's like,
Yes.
so it's not really a matter of finding your motivation. It's a matter of accepting the fact that you don't have it that day. And it sucks because you're going to have to make yourself go. Sorry, I had a call. So you're going to have to make yourself do things. And so that's really part of the reason why I do cold plunge. There's other reasons behind it. But forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do first thing in the morning will help keep you motivated throughout the day because there's nothing shittier than getting in freezing cold water right after a hot shower. There's just not. So anything after that is pretty easy. Um, but yeah,
How long
just
do you stay?
between 3 to 5 minutes. I
Oh
was
my
doing
gosh.
2 minutes, but it started to become a little easy, to be honest. And the whole purpose is to, one,
Stop
increase
your
my
body.
dopamine stores. I
Oh
want to
my.
be super happy, so it helps increase your dopamine. But I also want to challenge myself. I want to be uncomfortable. That's how you grow. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're uncomfortable. So the times
100%.
that you're and the times you're not motivated to go to like the gym, let's say, that's the times you're going to have the best workout because you're going to get the most dopamine. Because when you make yourself do something you don't want to do, your reward is the dopamine rush after, right? So I guess you could focus on that. I'm going to have great dopamine after this.
That is so true. Every day I feel like I struggle to get myself in the gym, but then after
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I did it.
it wasn't so bad. And the same
Yeah.
like in our business, right? We have to make phone calls. Right? You
Yes.
have to, you do those things. You got to connect with people.
Uh huh.
Um, and we get in our own head about making these phone calls and everything these people are going to tell you, and they never tell you what you think they're going to say. I don't
100%. You
I have yet
overthink.
to have somebody tell me what I think they're going to say. And it's easy, right? You end up talking to somebody, you end up having a great conversation, and you're like, I took an hour to type myself up to make that call. Like, it's crazy.
No, I totally agree. Even for me, learning not to just overthink and just do.
Yeah,
So
just do.
just do.
100%. That's 100%.
So, Tiff, you started Tiff Truths. Um, what is it all about? Let's tell the viewers, what Tiff Truths is about.
Yeah, Tiff Truths is just my idea on how the world, should be, I guess. Like, I created it because I keep getting told that I have a different outlook on life and that people like to hear about it. So I thought, well, if I could create a channel where I could help people change their life through their thoughts, like, why not? If I only help like one or two people, that's fantastic to me because I do believe there's a ripple effect. So I just think of like, I would love to help as many people as possible in some positive aspect. And so Tiff Truth was my answer to that. And it's just whatever inspires me at that time. Lately, it's
Awesome,
been like dating.
right?
I'm not dating. I'm like, thank God I'm not, but I can talk about it.
There's so much, topics to like kind of unravel and like that topic. So you mentioned one topic, which is dating. Any other
Yeah.
topics that you like that you know, you've
Oh,
done
yeah,
or
I've
think of
talked
doing?
about different type of breath work for anxiety. I think that that's so important because if you can control, a whole part of mindset is also learning how to control your thoughts and how to work on your mind. And there's so many like tips out there to help you, but I don't think people always know where to go. So I do some breath work exercises. I'm going to kind of expand too into more of the mindset. There's a lot of mindset stuff already out there, but I'll be doing like some longer videos. And I'm sure I'm going to start having some guests too. So they'll all be
Yay.
like mindset, life improvement, lifestyle type of, how to help you.
Awesome. So with the channel and your and the topics that you create and stuff like that and talk about, what is like the ultimate goal? Like, do you have like a ultimate goal besides like reaching, helping one or two people? Is there like an ultimate goal you have in mind for it?
No, it's a really good question. I mean, it really started off as just kind of a hobby, and I've been getting pushed to do more. So I feel like that's a sign for me to do more, but I don't know exactly what that is yet. I think
Right.
something's gonna happen. I don't know. I feel it. I don't know what that is though. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
feel like as more that you do it, more and more people will gravitate to like the life experience that you have or like the thoughts that you have towards it.
Yeah.
And like what we talked about previously, it's all about like the perspective too. So I love that you bring a good type of perspective in like different situations. So I love that. Can't wait to like kind of hear more about what you have to say because that's
I
so
mean,
cool.
people could drop me stuff. I'm always like, what do you guys want advice on? Like, I don't know how to run from
Right?
people. I left like a couple weddings. Do you guys want to know how to leave one? They're
Oh my,
very
yeah.
expensive.
Like, how can you kind of like
Very
leave
expensive to
without
run.
notice, right? No, those are good. I'm sure people are wondering the same. Like, you know,
Yeah.
um, I have a couple questions
Mhm.
here. This one is from Cece. She said, "How do you handle your busy work, family, and social life?"
Oh, I get asked this a lot too, and honestly, I just don't know any other way. Like when your schedule is busy, to me it's almost easier because I only have so much time to do whatever I need to do. So I could just, go down the list and get it done. When I have more free time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all this time. Like, what do you do with it? And right now, like, I went from working a position where I was working like crazy amounts of hours, right? And now I almost feel like I have a little bit more free time and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it.
There you go. It's
Yeah,
good to be
so
busy. It's like you don't know what to do when you're not, right?
right, and if your schedule is just so full, like, you just power through, and Cece knows how to do this because she has the same life as us. She's busy too. You just do it.
I know you have to be on her schedule.
Yeah, I'm like, we have to book time with you. What do you mean? How do you do
Yeah, how do you do it with two littles?
it?
Well, great. And she asked two more things. How did Tiff Truths come about? And also, how do, oh, I think maybe this one. She said, what do you do to keep such a positive attitude when things are off and things
Mhm.
arise?
That's a really good question. Well, I believe that when things fall apart, it's because something even better is going into place. So, um, that's just how I look at it, right? Even when you're broke, I'm like, oh my God, I am broke right now because I am about to be catapulted to so much money that I don't know what to do with it. And so I always have looked at things that way because if you look at your life and you look at all of the hard times, didn't something beautiful always come from it? And you look back and you look and you're like, oh my God, it all made sense. Right. And
Yes.
so I remind myself of that. I look at like my horribly difficult times and I'm like, oh my God, but something so beautiful came of it every single time. There was a lesson that I learned. There was something that I could take with me. There was something I could share. Right. And so that helps me get through those times because if you look at my life and you truly look at my life, it's so beautiful. Like, I am surrounded by so much love. I am so extremely blessed. And I know that every single day, it's really hard for me to have just an absolute shit day when I'm surrounded by so much love. And so I look at that. I look at what the things to be grateful for because gratitude changes your thoughts.
I love it because it's something I think about too, and I practice. Like every day, I have to write on my journal on gratitude. Even
Yes,
just by doing that, gets me into like let's go type of mood. Like
it's going to be
what
okay.
it's gonna be okay. Exactly.
Yeah, and we've survived 100% of our bad days. 100%. My fucking track record is really good that I'm gonna get through that day too, right? Like,
Exactly. What have you not gone through to if
yeah,
something else comes up, we got this.
we got this. It's fine. It's totally fine.
You know what? Something good, better is gonna happen. It's all right. It's gonna
It
be
always,
okay.
it literally always does, right? Like, I was
100%.
reading a book. I don't remember. Hopefully, I'll give credit if I ever need to. But she said, um, God's protection is God's rejection, right? So if you look at it that way, it feels good, right? Like, God's protecting you.
Correct.
That's why you're not always getting what you want. You don't know why,
Yes.
but you will. You'll look back and be like, oh my God, thank you.
It was a redirection to something better.
Exactly. So that's how I stay positive.
I love it, Tiff. Thank you so much for sharing all of the wisdom. And I know we'll hear more to come.
Yeah,
Definitely, if you get a chance, we'll go ahead and link your YouTube down here in the comments below. And tell the viewers, I know people are out and about right now and they'll probably see this later. How can they connect to you, whether it's social media or what's the best way to connect to you?
oh gosh, I'm normally on my social media. So if you just reach out to me on Instagram at Tiff Truths, I'm always there. You can email me too. I have like 5 different email addresses.
I have so many I can't keep track.
I know. I'm like, where did she send it to? I don't know.
I was
But
like, I'm
yeah,
gonna text it
social
to you.
media is probably the easiest.
Awesome. Hopefully, when I do get you back on here, we can do some exercises, kind of like what you did last time. If not, we'll talk it
No,
through.
we
But
should. I think
yeah,
that
I feel like even it's virtual. I'm sure we'll touch one heart with
I bet you
it touched
100%.
mine.
I could do it from here and everybody, you would feel it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's going within yourself. You're shutting your eyes. It's an
Yeah.
experience. But I think
Well,
we should
I want to
do
go through
some
that experience again
specifics.
with you.
Okay, we'll do it. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Everybody can walk away with a little love in their heart.
Absolutely 100%. And hopefully, whoever does watch this can take away, some of the things that you've said, because it does help a lot with business, life, and everything.
Yeah, mindset is everything. Mindset will make you successful, right? If you believe you're successful, you're successful. Who's going to tell you otherwise?
Exactly. Whatever you put in your mind is important. Every little bit, because
Yes,
it
words are
absorbs
power.
everything.
It does. And if you watch, have you ever seen the water experiment? Have you ever seen this? Okay, I'm
Water
going to send
experiment.
it to you. So
Okay.
it shows you the effects of words on water. So what they do is they
Ooh.
write
The
like
ripple,
love.
like,
They'll write like this. If I told my coffee like how much I loved it and I looked at it under a microscope, it creates beautiful crystallizations. If I
mm,
told it, which I'm not going to put it over there, I'm not talking to it, but if you say mean things, like if you told it you hated it, it would actually show really ugly things. And the reason I think that is important is because it genuinely shows you the power of your words, right? It's the power of what you're telling yourself every day. So if you're
yes.
telling yourself you're ugly or you hate this and you hate that, we're like 80% water. Like what are you doing to your actual self, right? And when you tell
Yes.
yourself positive things and you're telling yourself I love you, I'm enough, I am worthy, think of the effects that that's also having on your body. So anyway, that's another thing. I'll send it to you. Look at it.
See, there's just so many wisdom and like lots of knowledge with you, Tiff. So I'm glad we got to do it today, and then
Me
hopefully we
too.
can get
Thank you.
get back on live here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, let me know. Thank you
Will
so
do.
much. I love
Bye.
you.